Good day everyone, you have joined me today down by Ramasaig, I think that's how you say it. I am going down to a little cove around the hill and hopefully going to get a lovely sunset. As you can probably hear in my voice, I've not been very well the last couple of days. I've definitely got a bit of a nasty cold, but nothing better than fresh air to make you feel better. Fingers crossed. I've got an interesting obstacle though. Cows. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest wuss in the world, but cows intimidate me. They are very big and can be quite temperamental. And on the road that I'm on right now, the little dirt track, there's a family of about 25, 30 cows, and they're all in the track. Hopefully they don't find me too interesting. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So I have to say, for a large bunch of cows, they were pretty friendly and not interested in the slightest. Just before entering the paddock, there was a sign up saying, give cows a responsible distance, especially when they've got young calves, because they can be very, very protective. I could have reached out and touched one at one point on both sides. That's how close they were to me. But got some exciting news. You might have noticed there is a difference in sound quality at the beginning of this video. I have got a new microphone thanks to Santa Claus, i.e. Steph, but she treated me to a new microphone, the Rode Extreme Mini or whatever it's called. But yeah, so this is its maiden voyage. Fingers crossed it works out beautifully. One of the reasons why it's always best to look at maps, see names and check locations out that aren't normally shown is because look at this waterfall. I know the GoPro's it's going to be a little tiny dot, but look at the size of that waterfall. It's a long way off and it's not going to be the purpose of today, but maybe another day, maybe another day. New location found. Exciting times. I have to say, the bay itself is absolutely stunning, and right now there is some gorgeous god rays out over the sea. But the one thing that has shocked me, like genuinely shocked me, is all of the rubbish. There's rubbish everywhere. There is so much plastic absolutely everywhere. You come to a remote place like this, like it's a 45-minute walk from a little tiny farm that doesn't even have a farmhouse. That's how remote we are. And yet, there's still plastic everywhere. Which is difficult. It's very difficult. So much plastic. Anyway, I suppose while the light is still good, I might as well make the best of it and see if I can capture these god rays out over the sea with a beautiful foreground. Fingers crossed. So I've been having a little bit of a walk around and I've been kind of struggling on finding a composition that has that element but also is simple. And I think I found something. And it's not that simple, but I think it has that element. But at the moment the sun has come out and it's real harsh, so it's hard to tell if it's going to work. But I'm going to get set up and I'm going to have a little look at it. But before I do, is I'm going to talk you through my thinking. Now what I really wanted for this shot what I really wanted was something nice and simple where I had like 3 different rock pools all in a line, a really obvious composition, but I couldn't seem to find it. But what I have found is this, is I've got this S coming round this way, and I'm hoping, I know I'm shooting towards the sun, but what I'm hoping is the polarizer will help cut the glare off the water. So fingers crossed I'll see a little bit of the life underneath the water, because there is loads of things in there that look alive. And then really I need that sun to have a little bit of a cloud across it, because my thinking is some God rays in the background would look incredible. But there's a lot of hope in there. But there's only one way to find out if it's going to work or not, and that's by getting set up. So I think it's time to do that. So what I've done for this shot is I have decided to put my graduated neutral density filter. It was only a 3 stop, so it isn't very good against this harsh light that I'm getting. I've got my polarizer on. It isn't doing a lot, but it is cutting out a part of the glare of this first section. Okay, the second section is still nice and bright, but it's cutting out this, so hopefully I'll be able to pull a little bit of detail of the life that's underneath there. The clouds have come in thick as chuff, which is good in one way, as long as it breaks up a little bit, but really bad in another way, because now the shot that I was trying to get is kind of gone. But I did manage to get a little shot before, so I did bracket this shot 3 times, and I started off as a central, and then I just bracketed it going lower, taking away a stop at each time. So this is the bright one, so you can see I've got the foreground nice and detailed, and then that's the lowest one, the sky's nice, and then the middle, it sort of has the mid-tones. And hopefully that will give me enough that I can create an image with what I first envisioned. The God rays weren't quite as strong, but I've got a beautiful shift of light coming out of these dark clouds over to one side. So I think in Photoshop, with them 3 exposures, I'll be able to blend them together and create something quite nice. So I've got some pretty nice images from here, but the sun's now moved across, which has kind of ruined my foreground, which is a bit of an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack up here, I'm going to move on to another location that I just spotted, and fingers crossed that one pays off even better. Fingers crossed. So with images like this, where the focal point, the God rays out at sea, are always pretty much the same, very little difference, always pretty similar subject matter. The foreground is the most important part. If you can have a strong foreground, it doesn't matter how many times that focal point is the same, the image can look so different, so different. And now I've simplified the image by only having this leading out to them beautiful God rays, them absolutely spectacular God rays. And I'm hoping this might be the image. This might be that shot, that one shot. So the tide is coming in nice and fast now. I did one other thing to sort of create a little bit more simplicity in the image. I dropped my 10-stop filter in, and it really made a hell of a difference. What was happening before is I had rushes of water moving in and out, and again it was more distracting than helping the scene become surreal and beautiful. So what I did is, I put that 10-stop filter in, and it was about a 4-minute exposure to get the correct exposure for the foreground. And I think it worked. I think it really worked. But what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to leave it with that, is I'm going to blend the sky in from an earlier shot so the clouds aren't all drifty and movy, so the God rays are nice and straight and it's not so confusing of what's going on. So I'm going to put that in over the top, and then I'm going to put the foreground in and hopefully create something really, really special. But I think I've got one more shot in me before I have to walk back and face them cows again. Anyway, so I'm going to head across there and I'll see you there. When coming across here, I discovered some big bones. Now if anyone can tell me what or who these belong to, write in the comments below, because they are huge. I can't work out whether it's a hip bone or whether it's something else, but look at the size of that. Look at it next to my foot. That is monstrous. So I found myself another location, but it is one that I'm gonna have to be really quick about, because how to get here, you got to come down a low, and if that low fills full of water, then I'm trapped and I'm rock climbing out, which I don't want to do, obviously. But the composition I have got, it might work, it might not work, I don't know yet, but I've got my fingers crossed for it. I'll show you what I've got. So I found a little channel in the water, and this is pumping in and making beautiful lines all the way out. And then I've got the God rays out, again using the God rays as my focal point, but my foreground's completely different. So then hopefully my image will feel completely different. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use the L10 and a higher f-stop to get a long exposure, because I feel like this might be a better place to get the motion in the water. That isn't going to overcomplicate the image because it is such a simple foreground. And then quickly I'm going to start to head home, because I'm worried about these waves and how high this tide's getting and whether I'm going to get stuck. But I think I'm going to finish my vlog here, because this is getting gnarly and I'm worried about my escape. But thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more content, and there is going to be more, don't you worry about it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see it as soon as it comes, don't forget to hit that bell. I upload pretty much every Friday. I try to anyway. And there is so many more places on the Isle of Skye to go and adventure, especially with longer days after Christmas. And yeah, see you next time. So just to prove my point on why you should be wary when you're doing seascapes, is this little bit that I'm studying right now was dry, and look at it now. It's getting on for half a foot of water. If I'd spent another hour out there, half an hour, I might be in trouble right now. I was only over there for 10-15 minutes. So if you do end up going out this weekend to go and find some seascapes, inspired hopefully by my photography, be careful. Check the tide times, make sure you're not going to get stuck, and yeah, enjoy yourself. Right, and again, see you next time.